Hello everyone, welcome to the Homework 3 intro video. This should be a really quick one because Homework 3 is just a Gradescope assignment. So there is a skeleton to follow along with, but there is no code submission. So basically, this will make more sense when you look at the actual assignment, but it's covering inheritance. And so I have given you a class structure to look at, right? Where you have, a student class and then Berkeley student extends student, and you can mess around with that, but you don't actually have to submit any code. But first things first, I want to give a quick demo on how to request help at office hours, because I've seen a lot of students who have said, oh, I go to office hours because I want help on the homework or projects or whatever, and no one ever gets my ticket, or they say that my ticket is not correct. And so the reason we enforce a ticket template is just because otherwise it would be really disorganized for TAs to get to everyone. And it's really important that everyone follows the template to make office hours more efficient. And we skip tickets that don't follow the template just to make sure people, really value doing it correctly. And so I'm going to show you the correct way to make a ticket. So right now I'm logged in as a student, and let's say I really need help with homework 2, right? So I'm going to select homework 2. And if, let's say, the question I was stuck on was, question 1, natural runs, right? I'll just put 1 there. And now I'm going to pick the location and I'm going to make sure to do it correctly. So if this is one of the online office hours, like on Monday or Tuesday, I would click online. But if I was in SOTA, I would click whichever room I am in physically, and I'm going to make sure to be there, right? And so let's say right now I'm online. So I do request, and here's this template. So if we are on online office hours, let's say I'm on Discord and I am in room 3, right? I'm waiting in voice call room 3. So I'm going to put that there. Just in case you don't know what the Discord looks like, let me open it up really quick. Look at me where I have Zoom and Discord open. But let's say I'm here at office hours and I'm waiting in room 3, right? I'm in this room. So I would put on the ticket template that I'm in room 3, and you can see that here. And so that's just a quick demo of what the Discord looks like. And then for description, it says a detailed 1 to 2 sentence of description of the problem you're having. And so I would put something like, I'm stuck on natural runs. I have some sort of null pointer exception and I can't figure out why. I think it has to do with, ending the lists and making a new one. And so I'm going to put that into the description. Now here, when it says what assignment resources have you used, let's say I've watched the homework 1 intro video. So I could say homework 1 intro video. And the reason we ask this is because we don't want students showing up to office hours without having used all the resources available first, just because there's a really high likelihood that your question was already answered in a video. And so it would be a better use of the TA's time to go help another student who has a question that wasn't answered in the video, right? And so I'll put that there. And then lastly, this is not actually a thing you have to fill out, but it's just sort of a reminder that if this is a debugging question, you should probably just submit a Git bug, because office hours is for conceptual questions about assignments. And if you can't figure it out in 10 minutes, then we won't be able to help you, right? We have a 10-minute limit. And so actually, I think a more appropriate description, because this kind of sounds like a debugging thing, maybe it's, I don't understand when you should start a new run, whatever. And so this is a correct request, and I can wait right here. And so that is just how you make a correct request. Now I will go back to the slides. And so I just want to sort of give tips on how to use homework 3 effectively. First, attempt the Gradescope questions without running the code. Keep track of what you think, and then run the code and verify that the behavior is as you expected. And so this is what you're going to do with the assignment, right? And you'll go through and you'll be able to answer all the questions. But I want you to be curious, right? Don't just do what the Gradescope assignment tells you to do, right? What happens if you edit the study method to include a call to motto? What happens if you change Berkeley student.greet Stanford student S to include a line to s.study, right? What happens if you make method static versus non-static? What happens if you reference variables from inside the methods? And I'm going to give you a hint, which is that if you can do these types of things, you're probably in great shape for an exam. If you look at past exams, this is the kind of like challenging stuff that will oftentimes come up. And so it's really in your best interest to be curious about these and figure out what happens. I like DMS because to an extent, it's almost like free points on the exam if you know the rules, because at the end of the day, DMS follows very strict rules. It's formulaic. And so if you know the rules, you can get it no matter what. And the last thing is a demo on how to use the code provided, just to make sure everyone is clear on how we're supposed to do this. So what I'm going to do is in IntelliJ, I'm going to click on open, and I'm going to go to my repo. Don't look at all this extra stuff, it's not for you. And I'm going to click on the open on the homework 3 thing. I'm not going to click on students, I'm clicking on homework 3, open. Cool. And so this should all be fine and dandy. It's indexing, we'll give it a second. And we can go to the students class. And so we can see we have all these things defined, right? Everything looking pretty good. But in the main method in the student class, we actually don't have anything, right? And I have all these things. And so I can just start messing around with it. I could do things like Berkeley student Allison equals new Berkeley student. And I could say my name is Allison and my age is 21. I could also do things like CS61B student, whatever. I can do all sorts of things. Let's say the student is named Paul. And Paul is 65. Right? Now I could do something like Allison.greet Paul. And I can save this and I will click play right here and it'll run and we'll see what happens. Let's give it a minute. And awesome, what we see printed is, whoa, you made the blocks game. And if we go look at the class definition of Berkeley student.java, we see this makes sense because Allison is a Berkeley student and we are greeting something of static type CS61B student. And so we're going to print out this. But you can imagine there is weird things that can happen, right? There's other interesting things. And on the other side, when I was saying, be curious, feel free to tear this skeleton up, add whatever you want to it. You're not submitting this. And so you can gain a lot by just adding random things like, I don't know, let's say system out print age or name, whatever. See what happens. I think what's even more interesting is if you go to CS61B student and maybe print this variable, favorite cross at Cal, right? What happens then? Because maybe we have some interesting behavior when something is of static type Berkeley student and dynamic type CS61B student, and we do something like system out print favorite cross at Cal. And so these are all things you can mess around with, try it yourself, and that's it. I hope you have fun with this homework and good luck on the exam.